Welcome back, my dear students. I have decided to do something a little bit fun today. I'm going to refresh this page, get it back right. We're going to do a few fun things at this point. First thing we're going to do is not as exciting, but we're going to add just a little bit of space between these rows here. And so what we'll do is we could come in here and add a class of MT3 or something like that. But what we're going to do on every single one of these cards, we are just going to come into this style area and we're going to put dot card. And the reason why we're doing that is because that's the class. And so we are going to put a set of curly braces and we are going to say margin hyphen top colon 1 EM semicolon. And so what we've done there, it just said that we, in fact, I'll drop this down to a new row since I did it on the other one. What we've said there is that we're going to put a little bit of space on top of each card. And if I were to refresh this, there's just a little space here to keep the rows separated. So what I was thinking is going back to this idea of the dashboard and having this thing here, these 11 students, what if we could have some fun with these two kiosk features? So to this point, we have no way of knowing how many people have checked their balance, or probably even more funny is how many arguments we've settled. So let's go back to our old friend, the argument settler, and we're going to bring up the code. And now what we're going to do is we are going to, at this point here, when we, let's look at this here. So if found equals true, so we were back at this thing where, you scan badge 1, you scan badge 2, and then they go and find a winner or something like that. So if found equals true, what we're going to do is we are going to enter something into the logs. And the reason for that, not that we care about it for security purposes, like if you remember when we were talking about transferring money around, you want to have logs of all that so that you can say, hey, this person took $7 from this account. But this, we're going to use it for kind of a more fun purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to write logger, and then really it doesn't matter. We don't really need a username there. If you remember before, we would do the user ID of the person who was signed in. That doesn't really matter on this because this isn't a security thing. And so what we're going to do, we'll do uppercase argue like this. So this is our topic in the logs. And what we're going to say is we're going to put in a set of quotes and we're going to say, just for the heck of it, winner, let's do this here. Hold on, winner, let's do it here because we already know the person's name. Let's copy this down here and right here. I messed up my copy. Okay, riveting video. There we go. All right, so argue, and then what we're going to just say, and this is just kind of for the fun of it, inside of these quotes, we're going to say this person won an argument. Okay, and then we're going to go in here and just put the semicolon there. So if I come back, we're going to do a couple of these just so we have some data in the system. So I'm going to come here to the argument settler and I'm going to scan a couple badges. Badge 1, badge 2, Bob won the argument. And then I'm going to scan badge 3 and badge 4. Oop, I should actually be watching my screen. There we go. Badge 3 and badge 4. And Jenny James won the argument. So if we were to come back here to the logs, you would see that Jenny James won an argument and Billy Smythe won an argument. But the key part of this is this argue thing here. So we have now all of a sudden, we have a way to grab every single time somebody went through the argument scanner. So what we're going to do is go to our code, and at the top of this index.php file, if I can find it, alphabetical order is not my strong suit. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to say argue equals db query select id from logs where, and then what we want to do, let's look at the database here. I'm going to bring that in. Give me 1 second. So if I come into the database, I'm on another monitor and smart scan and drag it in. And if I go to logs, I can see that there is this category thing here called log type. And so that's what I want to search for. I want to search for how many of them have this term argue in there. So we're going to drag this over and we're going to say where log type equals question mark. And then inside the array, we're just going to type in argue. And then we're going to do count. So I'm going to space this over so it kind of looks like the other one. So remember the other one, we went and we said how many students are there. This time we're saying go into the logs and get any logs where log type has the word argue in it and then get a count for it. And so now what we can do is down here at this argument settler thing, we can say PHP echo argue. And remember, I'm getting that from, this is PHP echo argue. I'm getting argue from this variable right here. And then I can say argue, arguments have been solved. Okay, now I can refresh the page. I can come back here to my dashboard. Let me bring that up. So now I bring it over. Something's wrong there. So it's just saying 2, which 2 is right, but let's see what we're missing. So pull left, arguments have been solved. I did not save it. So now I come back, I refresh it, and 2 arguments have been solved. How cool is that? Like, that's very cool. It's very simple, and all of a sudden, like, we'll know just how many times people have used the argument scanner. And so it'll be real quick. Let's do the same thing for the other, for the check balance. And so since we have this code here on this page, the argue, we can go to kiosk check balance. And then basically every time somebody found their balance, which is right here, so we want to do this before the redirect, and basically say, we're going to take this. Oop, that's the second time I've done that. So we're going to copy this, and this is our log statement, and then we come over here and we paste it. Let's get this spacing gone. Okay, so instead we're just going to say balance. And so now, there's not really much we can put in there because they're only searching for by their RFID, so I don't really know that it really matters. All we have to really say is a balance was checked, like that. Okay, that's good enough. So we just need to know that somebody checked their balance, and then we can count that. So if we come over here to the index, then right up at the top with all these queries, we can actually copy this, and we can type in balance equals, let's just space these out here, select ID from logs where log type equals balance, and then, you know, so that's the same thing. That's what we put. Balance came from here, right here. So when we have this count, and then we can come down to that card that says check balance, and we can say balance, and then we can just say balances have been checked. Balances, let's just say checked. Okay, and let's refresh the page, and it should say 0. 0 balances checked because we haven't checked any balances since we put this feature in. So if I come over here and I scan a tag and we check their balance at 50 cents, we'll let that redirect, and then we scan another tag. In fact, we don't even have to let it redirect. We can scan that tag, and now we should have 3 balances have been checked. And so, nice. I decided to make my font size a little bit bigger, but I feel like we'd be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't come in here and do the last one, which is the search. And so let's make sure I have that snippet copied. If I come here to the logger snippet, I'm going to copy that, and then we go to student search, and then basically every time we do a search, we're going to just do a logger, and we're going to say search. And then let's say we can actually do this. Searched for. Now in this situation, what if we decide that we wanted to know who's actually doing the searching? So we can change this one to user data ID, and this will tell us actually who did the searching. The other two don't matter very much because they're kiosks, but you might want to know if somebody's poking around searching for somebody. So we can say searched for search term. So one last time we're going to go to the database, or we're going to go to the dashboard and a different DB, and we're going to change this to search, and we're going to change this to search, and then we'll come down here to find, and we'll say PHP echo search searches performed. So refresh the page, come back here, 0 searches performed. Fantastic. So Smith, we performed a search. We go here, 1 search is performed. We'll do 2 because it really bothers me to say 1. I was doing a video thing for my wife, and so I have different TV shows. I was making like a little guide thing. So anyway, so I have search there, and now if I were to come to the logs, I can see that that user 1, which happens to be the admin, searched for Smith, and so you can get an idea of what people are searching for, and then you go to the dashboard. I can see the 2 searches have been performed. So I hope you find that fun. I hope you're just getting this cool goofy data, and I will see you in the next video.